Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth.
Let me tell you something, and this might sound a little uncomfortable for most people, but you are not lazy because of demotivation, but simply because you lack a purpose. And if you don't fix it now, you will be 30, 40 years and still stuck in the same cycle of regret. I will tell you a story about a young boy named Adonis. Every time he sat down to study, he ended up scrolling on his mobile phone. Every morning, he set an alarm at 6 a.m., but he snoozes it and he wakes up at 9 a.m. His parents call him lazy, and even his classmates and teachers tell him that he is not disciplined. And eventually he started believing that maybe I am lazy, maybe I am not built for success. But one day, his school organized a local business challenge. No tests, no homework, nothing. Just an opportunity to build something real by himself. For the first time, Adonis, he felt alive. He stayed up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning and worked on his project. He skipped everything. He skipped Netflix, he skipped movie, he skipped hanging out with friends, and he skipped video games. And for 1 week, he focused on building his business. And at the end, even though he was not able to win the competition, he learned a lesson that he is never lazy. He simply just lacks a purpose. Without a goal, without a purpose, really, we human beings, we are just existing. We wake up every day lazy and tired. We check our phones and start scrolling our mobile phones. And at the end of the day, we ask ourselves, why you are not productive. But when you pay close attention, you will begin to notice that most people are not lazy. They just lack a purpose. They just lack a goal, which keeps them grounded. Something which keeps on reminding them every single day that they cannot afford to lose time. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Without a purpose, you are never going anywhere in life. And I'm not saying this because my life is set or I have made it in life. No, I'm still like every one of you guys. I'm still building my life. I'm still climbing up the ladders. I'm still trying to figure out my way. But I have seen people and I've experienced it myself. Back in the days when I was a teenager, when I was 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, I had no purpose in life. I had no goals. I was just existing. Literally, I wake up every single day, have food, go to college, come back, play games on my mobile phone, watch movies and have my dinner. Repeat that same routine over and over again. But for this couple 3-5 years, after I started my YouTube channel, I began to realize that I have a purpose. I began to realize my goals, my dreams, and my purpose. And the moment I realized that, I started to become more productive and I stopped wasting my time. Sometimes we tell ourselves that I am lazy, but that is not true. You just need a strong reason to push you to become productive. Think about this. In your academic, the entire year, you spend almost half of the year doing things which are unnecessary, using your mobile phones and doing other things to entertain yourself. But just right before your exam, just 3-4 days before your exam, all of a sudden you are very active. You don't feel lazy anymore. You can just cover 3-4 syllabus in just one night. That is not laziness. You are not lazy. You just don't have a reason, a meaningful reason that can push you out of your comfort zone. Because when you don't have a meaningful goal, you turn your head towards comfort. You turn towards comfort and you tell yourself that, this is not important. I don't have to waste my time doing it. I rather sleep. I rather spend my time watching Instagram reels or watching YouTube videos instead of doing that work. You tell yourself that when you don't have a meaningful reason, you make excuses and you tell yourself that you are lazy. But you know what? There is a science behind this. There is a chemical inside our brain which is called the serotonin. This serotonin is responsible for regulating your mood and your social behavior, meaning that when your serotonin level is low, you become lazy and you become stressed. So here is exactly what I want you to be doing in order to break free from laziness, in order to become more productive. I want you to start eating healthy food because healthy food helps in regulating the release of serotonin in the brain. But when you eat all this unhealthy food, all this junk food, then it will disrupt the release of this serotonin, this chemical in the brain. And when your serotonin is disrupted, it makes you feel lazy and demotivated. No wonder you are going to be stressed and unhappy or lazy if you're eating all this junk food every single day. So be very careful and be very mindful of what you input into your body and limit the use of social media. You see, when your brain gets used to high dopamine spikes, real works like working out or doing productive things or reading books, it becomes dull, it becomes unattractive. Especially with social media, every reels that you watch, every videos that you watch, it gives you a small dopamine hit. It gives you a tiny dopamine hit into your brain. And over time, your brain gets used to that short-term pleasure. And when you do that, when you repeat that over a long period of time, your brain becomes dull and you cannot do productive things. That is why even you guys can experience it by yourself, right? After hours and hours of scrolling through social media, you feel lazy, you feel tired, you feel sleepy, right? After watching reels for 2 hours, you feel lazy to go out and study. You feel lazy to go out and work out in the gym. You feel lazy, you just feel like sleeping in your bed again and continue scrolling, right? That is a dopamine crash. It is like a coffee. When you're drinking a coffee for maybe 2 to 3 hours, you'll become very active. But after some time, there will be a sudden crash and you become lazy and unproductive. That is why you need to train your brain to avoid this short-term pleasure and short-term dopamine. And most importantly, set a goal. Without a goal, your brain has nowhere to aim. Remember this, an empty mind is a devil's workshop. When your mind is blank, when your mind is empty, the devil does his work. He will distract you with porn. He will distract you with video games. He will distract you with movies. He will distract you with different things and let you feel lazy and unproductive. He will make you feel less motivated to do the things that you need to be doing. That is why you need to set a goal. And don't just take my words. Science have already proven that the brain, it functions properly. It functions at its peak when there is a clear set of goal. So you need to set a goal. And when you set a goal, you shift your mindset from passive to a purposeful mindset. And always keep in mind that laziness is not something which you beat with guilt. It is something which you can overpower. It is something which you can outperform with a clear set of goals. So there you have it, guys. If this video provides any sort of value, then take it and leave out whatever is not needed. Don't just extract value from me. Leave out your thoughts. Comment down below what you think. I'll be going through all the comments, so let me know your thoughts. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.